I'm James Helder. Welcome to Full Court Football 24. We're in the office today. Quite privileged to be joined by none other than Paul Canoville. Paul, I've got to say, thank you very much for giving us some of your time today.
Honoured for the invitation. Thank you again, James. Pleasant to be here, but the weather's not too good down in England, but hey, what we get by. Go on.
I want to look back on your career journey today. Obviously, it's been well documented what happened at Chelsea, but I'd like to look at the situation and events before then and the events which took place after that incident, because your career seems to be defined by a short period in history, so to speak.
Interesting you say that. And starting off, it would be the likes of my parents, and that would be my mother, Patricia Lake, and my dad, Vernon Canoville, that came over in the Windrush. And that was a period in the late 50s, early 60s. And, come over to better themselves. Mum having two kids, myself and my sister, June. But it was a case that my dad had left when I was 1 year old. And my mother bringing up two kids at that time, that period, was really difficult. You don't realise that when you're a youngster. So I'm just feeling like everything for me as a kid growing up, it's just want and not getting. But something I was good at, and that was football. I mean, I can only remember that I used to kick stones along the streets and play like I was at Wembley or so forth. But for me, every opportunity I had, whether when I was 5, 6, 7, was just playing football. So I remember at the age of 5 telling my mum I knew what I wanted to be, and I was a professional footballer. But she had other ideas and didn't see football as a career. So it was a case about trying to get an education. But I've got to say I wasn't interested in education, don't get me wrong. There's some things I did like at school, but it didn't do nothing for me. I followed football, and it was mainly sports that I was interested in. So because there was no father figure, and I knew I lacked some discipline, I wanted some mentoring, I needed a father figure, and that wasn't around. And it was really difficult time for my mum because I gave her hell. I'm not gonna lie. It was a young boy, teenager, that just wanted to do things, and I wasn't a troublemaker. Don't get me wrong. It's just I hanged around with the wrong crew, and was led quite easily astray. And that was the path I was taking, which wasn't good for my beliefs. It wasn't good for me, but you didn't have anybody who kind of believed with you at the time. So you kind of seek for that and look for that friend, should I say, that you think that, has got your back as such. But yeah, it was a difficult time for me growing up. But I had friends, it was funny, that knew I was good at football. So when I thought I was going wayward and wanted to go and follow them, they would tell me, nah, you can't come with us. And I would tell them, why? No, Paul, this is something, you get yourself in trouble, and we know you're good at football. That's a career that you should follow. So I really had those kind of friends who were older, who were like a father figure, but they kind of kept me out of trouble, and some trouble. I used to play football, I sleep it, eat it. It was a case that I couldn't do without it. It was part of my life, football, definitely.
Explain to us about your grassroots football. What side would you be playing for at this age, at your early sort of teens?
You know what? It's funny because I played the district, played for the local school. I was playing for, we was talking about the age. The time when I was 10 years old, I was playing for the age of 15. That's how good I was. I had that physique. And them times we was all playing like 2-3 games a day. You see footballers, these young guys, they're not even allowed to play, just about play one. But I didn't mind. I didn't see there was anything wrong about it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I was playing for the school side, my age group, then playing for the older age group. And then, you know, I mean, you was called up for the district the next day, and it was like, yep, local papers, local news was on me and say up and coming players for the future. That was nice, but I didn't take on it, you know what I mean? But I think when I went to school, I loved going to school because I loved the sports. And that was the main thing. I looked forward to the sports of that day. And I had two teachers that were really definitely supportive to me. Mr. Uphill, Mr. Avery, I remember them, yeah. That was at Brentside High School, most definitely. And I was good enough, when I say sports, it was basketball, the running, the cricket, and obviously the football. But cricket was a close corner for me because I went for the trials for Middlesex. And it was like, how do I see upper class as you see cricket back then? And when I say that was upper class, because my mum couldn't afford the white pants, or I just about used my school white shirt. And don't get me wrong, it was a black pants, a school shirt, pants that I used to go to the cricket trials. But I was a bowler and I was a batsman. And that was obviously coming from my dad because he played cricket very well as well. I used to watch him on a Sunday when all the family used to go out to the park. When, you know what I mean, your mum cooked some sandwiches and bakes and, you know what I mean? And you watch your dad play cricket or you played some dominoes. And that's how it was on a Sunday growing up as a kid. But then I went to the trials at Middlesex and I was good. Got through to the finals. And I believe it was Mr. Uphill that was going to pick me up that Saturday morning for the final trials, should I say. And after getting up, packing my bag and telling my mum, yeah, I'm on my way, gonna go, she stopped me and said, hold on, you've got chores to do. And I mean, chores? Mum, I'm going to cricket trials. Nope, you've got to finish your chores. I couldn't believe that. I've got to meet the teacher, and the next 15 minutes, you were telling me about doing chores. So here I was now, washing the dishes. You know, a kid washing them so quickly, making sure they're rinsed. And I'm about to say, yeah, finished. And I'm about to go in the door. She said, hold on. Let me check them. Come on, you cannot be real. And she's checked every piece of dishes in the pot, and she put them right back. And we had to redo them again. By this time, 15 minutes had gone past, we were nearly 25. When I did eventually go, the teacher had already gone. So maybe it was a sign to tell me it wasn't my destiny to be that cricketer, because I turned out to be a professional footballer. But as I said, that road, it wasn't easy.
Did this road as well see you spend some time in Borstal?
That road was just exactly what I was coming to because, yeah, I got myself in trouble. Done a little, when a burglary, it was a shop that we did as a youth, I was youngest, and the police were called out. Run into some bushes, started to hide out for a couple of hours until the morning came up, and then started walking. And by this time, police had surrounded all the area, and I was picked up. One of them things that, you know, is you never grasped on your mates, and you took the whole of the, you know, what I mean, the punishment and so forth. But
how long was you sentenced to at
I was
Borstal?
given 4 months, but it was my first offence. I really didn't think, and I mean, I thought, yeah, give me community service or something. But the guy was trying to make a point, and yeah, gave me 4 months in the sports store. It was way out of the country.
That seems harsh for your first
It
offence.
was for me, and trust me though, that was the wake up call. Because for me, it wasn't like I could get up in the morning and say I'm going to the newspaper shop. No, mate, you're locked. That's it. The word lock, stock, and barrel. That was what it was. You was, trust me, locked up in your cell, or the dormitory, as you call it, because quite a few boys. And you got up in the morning, 6 o'clock. You was out in the yard, and when I say courtyard, in the vest, I've never been out of courtyard in a vest. I'm talking about getting cold, and I said, I'm not having that. I'm not doing it. That was my first day, and they was out queuing up, and I said, I'm not queuing there. I went straight into the, you know, with the sinks and the screw, the guard. He come and call me. What do you think you're doing? I said, what does it look like I'm doing? I went straight in the water. He said, "No, what? You're down in the mix, down in the block." So reason for that, when you put down in the block now, you've been given another 3 more days put onto your, you know, you come out time where your feet you come out earlier. You added another 3 days on it. It was like, I soon woke up to that and realised, yeah, Paul, you can't play games here. You're not in charge. Discipline I needed, most definitely. I had to get up, fold my clothes. It was in a short area, squared. So you make up your bed in a way that was army background. It was really military, you know what I mean, for me. But you know what? I kind of enjoyed it. I really did, because it's something I needed and I didn't have. But
you mean in terms of the structure and discipline?
Structure, yeah, of the discipline, and it was like
interesting.
I really did enjoy it. I'm not saying I wanted to stay there, but I really needed that coming from a male that I couldn't be in control of. They were in control of me. So
interesting.
I think, yeah, don't get me wrong, you're there for a reason. I found something which I was good at. They had a football team, and that was great for me. So I joined the football team, and it was a case of that these teams used to come out into the where should I say, the establishment that we was in. We had a nice little pitch that was there in this Borstal as well. So we used to play these big older boys as well, playing it. My first game, and I'm a striker, and we won about 10-1 or something like that, and I scored all 9 goals. And it was like, yeah, I remember it distinctly, because the screw, he told me, "Why didn't you go and play for Chelsea?" And this time, I didn't even know about Chelsea. Chelsea who? I was like, leave it out. Because at the time, who I was supporting was Leeds United, and I didn't know no history about that, about Chelsea or Leeds at all, you know what I mean? All I know that me supporting Leeds was one of the best scenes of football there in England, with the likes of Billy Berner, Peter Lorimer, Alan Clark. They had a team, trust me. Paul Remy, Harvey, yeah, they had a Jack Charlton, they had a team. So there it was all good, but I think I didn't want to stay in there any longer. I really wanted to get out. So I used to write letters, like, you know what I mean, to my mum, and even to my own manager, who was Colin Barnes, and he was at Hill in the Borough at the time. And I was just writing letters, "Look, man, please get me out. If you can get me out as soon, I'll behave, I'll be good." But I must have behaved, because I got out a little earlier, as such. Well, it seemed like earlier to me. And met up with my aunt, who kind of was like a second mother to me, Auntie Stephanie. And she told me as it is. She said, "Paul, now, it's what you got to do about yourself. Yeah, right now, you know what you're good at. You need to start following it." And she was right. I needed to start pursuing football. I kept being told I was good, so why not find out if you're really that good? So I had to obviously, meet up with Mum. She had moved from the area we used to live at. She was kind of embarrassed. So she went outside to Slough. And from there, it was a case of meeting up and finding work, taking responsibility. And I did, found it in Boots, doing some shelving and so forth. Had a bit of a rough, time with this woman who worked in there, giving me some racist remarks and so forth. I didn't like too well. I wasn't too happy about it. And she kept getting away with it, and I lost my head in one day. I knew she rode a bike, and I kind of stamped all those pokes and mashed up the bike, you know what I mean, and put it up there. Apparently they found out it was me, and I was taken to court. So, you know what I mean, you watch these TV programs, and like, you see the court, you see your lawyer, as you so call it. He said, "Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, he's supposed to represent me." So I said, "Yeah, it's cool." So my mum's got this lawyer. I've gone to the court. And so he's asked me the first question. I'm going to ask you, because I have to ask you, did you do it? So I thought, well, I'm going to tell him, yeah, but he's going to represent me. So yeah. So I've told him, yeah, I did it. Well, I can't do nothing. You were guilty. I said, "You what?" I went, "What?" No, I didn't realise that. You're not supposed to tell him that. You know what I mean? So my mum, oh my God, she nearly killed me. I said, you damn ass. What you tell him you did it for? I said, Mum, I thought he didn't represent me. So, you know what I mean? I got fined for that and so forth. I couldn't believe it. You watch these TV programs, they're not what they are supposed to be, really, truly. But that's what it was, you know what I mean? But found a club was at Hillingdon, as I said, my old manager, Colin Barnes. He was the youth manager down at Hillingdon Borough.
So he was managing the first team at Hillingdon Borough, or the youth team?
He's just managing the youth team.
The youth team.
At Hillingdon Borough. But I knew him before that when I was playing like for Hamworth Celtic back in the days. But yeah, this was now a step up, more or less to grassroots, because Hillingdon Borough was in, at that time, called the Southern League. Very big league, very tough league as well. And it was semi-pro. But for me, being a youth, I just wanted to play football, get back to it. And it was a case of, I had this cup game, and Barnesy put me in the team right away. And there was an uproar because the parents of them were making arguments. So, hold on, this guy's just come out and you put him straight in the team. What's going on? Why is my kid being dropped? And Barnesy told him straight up. I told him right now, because he's that bloody good. And if you don't like it, you know what to do. And I thought, wow. So, you know what I mean? I played 2 games. We won the cup. And I was like so eager to, you know what I mean, playing in the youth team that next thing I know, he said, no, you can't. I said, what do you mean? Yeah, you're in the first team now. Yeah, but I want to still play. No, you won't allow you to. At the time, Alan Batsford, I think, he was the manager of the first team at Hillingdon Borough. And I remember this distinctly, you know why? Because at that time, man, only boots I could afford were what my mum had bought, and it was from Winfield Boots. And you know where they come from? If you don't know this shop, there's something wrong. And that was Woolworths. That Woolworths had everything going. If you wanted school pants, school shirts, socks, sweets, everything going was Woolworths. I don't know, even to now, I think, why did they close that down? It was affordable. It was unbelievable. That's what I grew up in. So my boots were Winfield boots, right? And I had to play with them. And I think for my mum, it's one of those doing when you're a young lad, you know what, you play football and you just dump them in the cupboard, didn't you? No, she said, I paid good money for that. And if you want to still play football, you best wash them and keep them clean. So I had to wash them every time I played. Was the reason I was able to, you know what I mean, play football. Cause my mum stopped me one time when I was young because I wasn't taking my education seriously. And she told me, you're banned. You don't know how much that hurt me.
I can imagine. That simple.
That simple. That was like, can you imagine when somebody's having, like adults or 2 married couples having trouble? That was something like, for me, that was like, I can't play football. I couldn't even think right. I was like, couldn't sleep right. A girl, I couldn't even talk to the girl because I can't play football. No, man, this was so important to me. So I started, cleaning my boots, man. And the Winfield, they lasted me long. But the manager said to me on a Thursday, he said, meet me at 2:00. And it was down in Perivale. And he said, to meet him outside Steve Perriman. If you remember, Steve Perriman used to play for Tottenham and he had a few sports shops. So I met him down there. I didn't know what he meant, you know, I was going to go down there for. But 2-2, I met him, we got in the shop, and he just told me straight, go and pick a pair of boots. Now, you can imagine this young 16-year-old black boy, he's in the sports shop, and he's looking at all these boots, and his eyes are raising up, look at the quality of them boots, but they're expensive, and he's not going to pick the expensive one. There's a man saying, because I know I can't afford it, and he's going to buy it, and I think, nah. You know what I mean? So I'm picking up the cheapest boot. I've come back and he's looked at the boots and he's looked at me. Looked at the boots and he's looked at me. He said, what are you doing? I said, pick the boots. No, pick some quality boots. You're going to be playing this for a long time. In there for a long time. Well, I went back in there. Saw some Adidas, saw the leather in that, saw the Pumas. I was like, oh my God. And you got to imagine, right? I picked these Puma Kings. You know, if you don't know about your boots back then, these leather, boy, he was about...
With the fold over tongues?
With the tongue, when that flapped over. And you know, when you run with them, you know that you're in a pair of boots. It was
Yeah.
classic. And I'm telling them times, there was about 65, 75 quid just for boots. You can imagine how much of that. My mum wouldn't even think about spending the money for them kind of boots. Mad. Yeah, that food would come first and then boots. So I'd have to make my own boot if I could thread them or sew them, trust me. So that was my first instance of kindness from a manager. He got me my boots, and trust me, I was training every Tuesday and Thursday, and playing a Saturday, and it's like, boy, this is grassroots, because some of the players that were older than me, who had just recently retired, you know what I mean, out of the game, but were still playing non-league, and I was learning a lot from these guys. There came a situation where I didn't really get on with my mum's new boyfriend. It was his house. He set some rules, and I didn't accept them, and I didn't adjust to them. To be honest,
You didn't make a great adjustments to them.
nah, I just didn't like him at all. Simple as. But he always seemed to be picking on me and blaming me for such, and something's missing and something's eaten, and I'm never troubling nothing because I don't want the noise. And I mean, the guy knows his house, and if you're living in Slough, and if I'm not telling a lie, Slough is the most coldest area you can go in. I mean, like, you can come to London, if it's cold, it is definitely twice as cold in Slough. Trust me when I say that. So a guy like that, come on, man, you got profit. He's got radiators, he's got heat, but he ain't putting them on. Oh, can you imagine? I've got jumpers, I've got t-shirt, I've got leggings. I'm sleeping in the bed with them. And trust me, when you want to get up in the morning, it took me ages just to get up because it was that cold. I think, what is this man on? But I didn't like him, so, you know what I mean, when he did talk to me, I talked him away. But we caught in an argument, and argument was something that was troubled in his fridge, which I didn't trouble it. It was his son, but he wouldn't accept it. So I had enough, and I told him where to stick it. And yeah, well, something happened, and I said, "Look, mate, I'm not having this anymore. I don't give a fuck. Sorry if I'm swearing, because I was really angry." I said, "You don't mess with me and my sister. You mess with my mum. So anytime they come with that, I'm not gonna have it." So I peeled up a knife on him and all this, and you know what I mean? And that was it. I knocked out his nephew, come up to me, he was about 35, and I was, must have been 18 then. So next thing I know, 18, 19, I was out. I was homeless, to be honest. I had nowhere there, but my mum didn't realise what happened. She just thought I left and didn't tell him. She didn't tell him nothing.
He didn't explain to him what had
He didn't
happened.
explain nothing. You know what I mean? The reasons for it. So she was like kind of upset with me, thinking I just left the house without, you know what I mean, telling her. So there I was now, nowhere to go. I think my sister, she had left the house because she was pregnant, so she was in the mother's hostel. I ended up next door to the house to a friend who had his car in his garage, an old Jaguar, and I was sleeping in there. This is about 2 to 3 weeks, and it was more colder in the Jaguar than outside. It was that cold, so it was a case of just sleeping there for the night, wrapped up as much as I can. By in the morning, kind of sneak back out to make sure nobody see me and start walking the streets. Didn't know when food was coming. Don't get me wrong. I only saw my sister after a couple of days and friends, because I was too proud to tell anybody really my situation. And that was hard because I think I looked forward then to going to training, because that was the only time that I could have a shower, and that was the Tuesday and Thursday. So I remember distinctly, it was so embarrassing. After 2 weeks, I went to Thursday, and obviously looked forward to doing the training and so forth. Like when I went now, one of the lads, the black lads, come up to me, "Cannons, mate, rest of the players a bit concerned, and no offence, but you're smelling like BO." And I felt hurt, don't get me wrong about it, but I had to tell him, and I told him straight, "Look, I've been homeless. and I've been living in a car. And the guy said, what? Why don't you tell us? And he was like, nah, man. You know what I mean? I'm embarrassed as it is, bruv. And the manager got to find out. He was like, why didn't you tell us, man? You know what I mean? He would have put me up. And it's like, that was me. You know what I mean? I was just so embarrassed to tell anybody. So for me to get home, to even tell them to get that out, that was hard. Because I'll never forget that. It was really hard. They didn't know what was going on. It was a case of meeting up somebody that at the time, from 20, I was that Hillingdon going to a few trials. And I was going to a few trials. I was down at Wimbledon. I went down to West Brom, went out to Southampton. Like I said, Lauren McMenemy was the manager at the time at Southampton. And I remember I went there for the week to put me up in digs. And this is all from Hillingdon Borough. And I'm in trials. And I'm thinking, yeah, man, this is all good. But I think what was so weird about it was like, when you had these trials at these clubs, nobody told you anything. Nobody come at the end and say, yeah, how good you are. And, yeah, we like what you're doing. And you're just left with nothing.
I don't think it's changed much to the current process, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it's got to be changed. Because when they spot a young lad, they're going to be in communication with the lad and the parents, no matter what. This time, nothing. So, and I mean nothing. You're left in here, you go to the digs, you come back, training, you go back to the digs, and nobody said improvement, work on this and work on nothing. So I went back to, and that must have been the last time I went back to Hillingdon Borough thinking, you know what, I'm either not good enough. But then an opportunity came at Chelsea and they came from me. I think the scout was Ron Stewart. And I went down there, but this was obviously a deal that was going on with Hillingdon and Chelsea, which I was unaware.
What do you know what the deal was?
Well, no. They would already be looking at me and talking about price, but I went for trials for that week. And once again, I thought I was kind of, it's not cheating, but I think I was playing a bit more easier because I wasn't doing what I normally like to do. I was just making it simply like, getting the ball, give it back, getting the ball, making no mistakes, looking at myself like a good player. But that week again, went back to London, thinking, you know what, I can't be good enough because this time this is in the pro club and nobody's saying nothing to me. So that was it. I thought I'm not good enough, so I'll just stay in at Hillingdon and just play my football. But the guy came back once year and he said, what's wrong? And I said, well, nobody said nothing. What's that, man? He said, no, we're interested. Don't come back again. And I did, came back. And I remember this thing, I still kept doing the same thing. But this time, the likes of a boy, Ray Wilkins, his brother, Graham Wilkins, he used to play. If you don't know Ray Wilkins was a talented player down at Chelsea. Went into that, and I mean, rest in peace, he died not too long ago. But it was his brother that gave me the confidence by telling me, Canners, mate, what are you doing? He said, boy, they never wanted to see this. Take me on. I was like, are you sure?
Really?
I swear, Lord, he said, take me on. I was like, when I said, I knew what I was saying. I said, are you sure? Because I know what I can do. And I'm going to let you look silly. But he said, take me on. That's what they want to see. And I did. I dropped the shoulder. I was gone. Dropped it, span it, everything. I was like, yeah, this is what it's like. I needed that. It's like this is what I was supposed to show him. You know what I mean? And it's so funny. It was when that Friday I was called up to the manager's office, and he's gone in there. Mr. John Neal, rest in peace, another manager's passed. And he said, "Aye, we like what we see. You've got the remaining 7 months to prove yourself. If after 7 months we like what we see, we'll give you a 3-year contract. We got a contract." I said, cool. So for now, you're a professional footballer. But you don't know the emotion that it was hearing that, coming out of that office, getting changed. I had to hold that, go on the street and then let off a great big gasp there, just, yes, I've done it. Now, I'm not fully done it, but hear what? My dream. So, yeah, it was. I remember ringing my sister first, telling her that I've done it. I'm at Chelsea, I'm signed. She was so happy for me because my sister, we've gone through enough. And I know she took enough licks. When I say licks, people know what I'm talking about for me. Because we were close. We are still very close as such. And phoned my mate George, told him the good news. He said, go on, son, I know you deserved it. Phone my mum. Obviously, you got to phone your mum and let her know, Mum, now I'm a professional footballer. I'm at Chelsea. It was like, so what? That was, you know what I mean? So what? Like, it was nothing important. It was like, I've been there, all that noise that I gave you, the trouble I gave you to be a footballer. Now I've made it, and you're telling me, so what? She was hard to please. My mum and me didn't have a really good relationship. I'm not gonna lie to that. She knows that. What's the word for it? Motherly. She wasn't. But that.
Do you think that stems from her being on her own with the two kids
I don't think
at
it
that
was.
point in
I
life?
think it was, to be honest, her growing up.
Her
That's
upbringing.
how she was in the Caribbean growing up. She was very disciplined. There was about all in all, 9 brothers and sisters. A big family. I mean, big. And I got to meet the grandfather before they passed. He brought us over there when we was 14 to see the family, grandparents, my dad's side and her side. And it was a case, I'm not going to lie. I was talking to myself and I think, why did mum leave here? This is the discipline I probably needed, you know what I mean, to sort myself out. But you know what? I was here. I'm now in a place where I wanted to be. Yeah, it took the long road, but as a professional footballer now, it's what am I going to do? You know what I mean? So I've got 7 months to prove how good I am. And I was playing the reserves and I noticed they had a little clique there. And I'm not racist, but like the clique there with the white boys and me as the little black boy. And I'm in the reserves. Don't get me wrong, there were some black players there, but in the youth team, hadn't broken in. So I was really the only elder that was like in the reserves, you know what I mean, taking it to them. And I was in there, I felt so comfortable. It was like, I thought this is easy. I thought non-league football would be harder, or, you know what I mean, easier, but this was so easy. I was scoring goals left, right, centre, man of the match. After 4 months, the day come true. I was called in the first team. So with that, it was I was told that I was a substitute against Crystal Palace. And I was so excited, man.
First of all, tell me how excited you was to be named in that team, to know you're going to get a chance to make your debut for Chelsea.
You know what? You got to understand this as well, right? Because back then, today's football, what you see today, you see 6 substitutes and you have use of 3. Back then, it's just one substitute.
Really?
11 players, yeah, not about 2 or 3, 1 substitute. Now your manager's got to make a decision when he can put that substitute on, if there's an injury, substitute, whether he wants to change the game, substitute. Your manager has to make that.
Makes that substitution much more important, doesn't it?
Of course it does. You have to think about it, bro. You know, when you break through and thinking, oh man, substitute. Yeah, I'm substitute for it, but I might not get on. I'd rather go and play for the reserves because I'm playing.
You was definitely getting on if you're the one sub.
Bruv. Yeah, it was one of them.
Definitely getting on.
So, I ain't gonna lie to you. I find all my family members, my cousins, everybody, man. Come on, man. You got to come out.
It's a massive moment for you, isn't it?
It's a tremendous moment. I'm on the coach. Now, don't get me wrong. I've been on the coach where church outings, you know what I mean? 52-seater. It goes down to Margate Seaside. But this was a coach. It was like a house, bruv. You know, it had shower, kitchen, the works. And I've never seen a coach like this. So I'm in this. I'm taking this at all. And then I'm moving around. I'm in the coach now, heading towards Selhurst Park. And you start seeing the fans. It's like, boy, wow, this is it. And come outside, you see the ground. I said, damn, you see the stadium? I said, shit. yeah, this is a bit, whoa. Gone in the changing room now, you've gone over your little charms, your trivial things, what I do before a game, what I do when I'm putting on the kit. And I love it when the teammates, because the best thing about being a footballer is the banter we have amongst teammates. And the boys were so supportive. They said, Canners, all the best, mate, if you come on, all the best, Canners. And give me that tap in the leg, on the shoulder and so forth. And that's when it hits me. It's like, flipping hell. I was nervous as hell. And I ain't even on the fixture. It's just being number 12, being a sub. I'm nervous as hell. I'm thinking about how the game's going to go before me. Will I be used? I'm going ahead of myself, yeah. Anyway, 2-2. You've come out. Boys are on the pitch, done the warm-up. So I'm at the side now in the dugout. And observation is going around. And I'm observing the right back, because that's who I'm going to play if I get the chance. And I've seen him. I've looked at him already and I said, oh, God, he's slow as hell. I know I'm going to rush him. I'm going to run him. But, you know what I mean? It's before time. So it's all good. Game started. And it was close. It was tight all the way. For the first half, it was 0-0. And it went back in the change room and I knew, yeah, if it stays like this, they've got to play me. They've got to put me on. I know they've got to put me on. So there it was, come out the second half. You can imagine it was still 0-0. 15 minutes went past. 20, 25, 30 minutes went past. It's still 0-0. And I'm thinking, come on, man. Get me on there now. Get me on there. My head is talking to me. I'm looking at the manager and he ain't paying no mind. I'm looking around and trust me, there's noise. I wouldn't even make the noise now. I had my studs on. I was knocking the studs, scraping it on the floor to make noise that I'm telling you, I'm still here, man. Get me on. And I thought, you know what, 75, 70 minutes gone by, thinking, this guy ain't put me on. And so there was, out of the blue, the name come out, Canners. What? Go and get warmed up, son. And that was it, bruv. Warmed up. You're coming on. But when I went out and I warmed up now, and I had my back towards the fans, and as far as I'm concerned, those fans were Crystal Palace fans, I started to hear some racist abuse being shouted out, and I thought, nah, that couldn't be at me. But I went on and it got worse. And they called me all kind of names, nigger, wug, go home. And I thought all the time it was Crystal Palace fans. And I was thinking, boy, that's deep. Is that really how they're getting on? And I thought, well, how come no stewards have said anything? Are they not stopping them? And, you know what I mean, it got loud, it got worse, and I was getting so upset. That's when I turned around, and when I turned around, it was the shock, because it wasn't Crystal Palace fans, it was my own fans. And I mean, in blue and white scarves, representing Chelsea. Hold on, I'm representing Chelsea, and you're giving me this racist abuse? That was a shock.
Are we talking one or two isolated fans?
Nah, this was minority. I mean, there was a group, a great group, trust me, that was so vocal that you could, that at that time in that stadium, everybody can hear it. Everybody. My teammates can hear it on the pitch.
What's going through your head when you've turned around and realised it was your own fans giving you abuse?
I was really upset, and I was frightened, and it's like not feeling wanted, and didn't know who I was, didn't know what I can do.
Football's very tribal, so to have what is effectively your own fans, your own people, your own tribe,
yeah,
giving you abuse. How do you deal with that?
A fans group, we're family. This is what this football is. Your family. When you come to as a player, all your teammates, we're family. We're a unit now, right? So when you got these fans now, and I didn't realise how important these fans are, and they're very important to the club. Some, as we were talking about, when you've supported and it's gone through the family, and I mean from day born, trust me, this is what it does. This is what it means. I didn't realise that. But I remember I got on the pitch, but I wasn't the same player. All that excitement, adrenaline, enthusiasm,
Must have just crushed you.
gone. Left my body completely. I got on the pitch, and worst thing of all, they took of one of their favourite players known, which was Clive Walker. Oh, man, what am I supposed to do? Replace this guy? This is their favourite.
So it's 0-0. They've just brought off a fan
0-0.
favourite. You're getting
And they've
abused.
taken them off and putting me on. It was like,
Wow.
oh, you're putting pressure. No pressure. No, really. It was like, wow. So I did the same thing when I did in the trials. I was getting the ball, give it back, getting the ball, giving that, waiting for that referee, blow the whistle. And he did. And I ran straight into that changing room. I was in the corner. I remember distinctly, I could see it. All the players came in and they couldn't even say to me, it didn't make sense, Paul, are you all right? They couldn't do it. They could see I wasn't all right. They heard the abuse I received. It was a manager, John Neal, who came to me in the corner. He said, look, Kenneth, I don't know how you're feeling right this very moment, but at the same time, those same ignorant fans are the one who's paying your wages. What are you going to do? And it was like, poor mate, I don't even remember how I got home, really and truly. It was just so in my head. It was like, wow, is this where I want to be playing? Is this what I'm going to be receiving every time? And I remember getting phone calls and from cousins, friends, and saying, Paul, why would you want to play for a racist side like that? I had to tell them, they're not racist. The club's not racist. It's just a minority of ignorant people and who want to frighten me from, you know what I mean? Well, more or less keeping my dream. And that's what it is for me. So it was a case of making a decision. Do I run away or do I stick it out? Now, the thought with that, it was like, if I ran away, it could happen again at whatever club I go to. What am I going to do then? What, run away again? So, I think it stemmed really from when my mum, and I heard she gave me that story when she went to better herself. She was working at the hotel and in the laundry. And she wanted to, advance. So she went for the appointment of a maid to work in the bedrooms, you know what I mean? When she went up to see the boss and went for the job, she was told that the position had been taken. But when her friend, who was white, works with her, went upstairs for the same position, she got it. But my mum didn't leave it there. She went back upstairs and asked the manager, hold on, when I asked you about the position, you said it was gone, but you've given my friend the position. And he told her blatantly, like, your colour can't be seen in the lights of bedroom. You are. You're black. With that, my mum just picked her and said, well, you know what? Just stick it. Keep your job. So for me, that was the strength that, you know what, if mum could do it, I'm going to have to do this. I'm walking away. I'm going to, you know what I mean? This is, for me, I thought it'd be hard if I was to run away, how hard it would be to get another job. Because that would follow you. You know what I mean? You go to a club and think, well, hold on, be careful because he gets upset with anything racism and he won't stick around. That would get quite easily spread around the clubs. I didn't want that. I didn't want to cause any trouble, to be honest. I didn't want to run away and I didn't want to complain. I was just saying it because I thought if I complain, I'd be look like the troublemaker and I'd look like I can't accept it. And then my opportunity would be gone. So I stuck it out. It was about trying to win over the fans.
What was the aftercare of this incident like? I know you've spoken to the manager, spoken to you about it. Was that the end of it being spoken about?
That was it. And I think Chelsea they knew they hadn't done enough because nobody came to me and asked me if I was all right. Nobody came to me, Paul, how you getting on? How you feeling? Nobody. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong, my teammates was always there, but nobody come up and individually Paul, how you feeling about it? You know what I mean? Because this was week and week out. Home game and away games. For 3 bloody years. 3 years I was receiving this.
How did let's just take it for one moment at a time. After that initial first game, the manager's spoken to you. How did you then motivate yourself for the next game, let alone going on for a 3-year period? How do you then sort of refocus and try to give your best performance?
You know what? You always got to be focused. But for me, I had to play twice as better than my teammates just to be accepted. So every game, I had to be on it. Yeah? Whether I had to show them like what I could do, I had to be on my game and had to be better or look better than my teammates just to be or try to be accepted. And that was what every game went through. Every day, every game that I played, I'd obviously go over them again, whether I thought, I could have done better then. That pass could have gone earlier, or I should have held it a bit longer. I could have took him on one-on-one. I used to go over my games every evening after the Saturday, after the week in the week, and think, you know what, I could do that better next time. I know what to do.
In your head, are you thinking you can do that better so you can reward your club or your team, or are you thinking you can do that better to stop the racial abuse that you have been getting?
That would have been both of them.
Really?
Yeah, because obviously you're playing for the team to win, and what I did, as far as I'm concerned, I was not a wing back, but I was an attacking winger on the left. So that means I was supplying my striker, and I think, I've done a good job. Pat Niven was on the right, I was on the left, Kerry Dixon, David, and we supplied them, and they scored goals. And that's what I loved. And I'm thinking wrong, I had my defensive duties, which I had to do that a lot because left back, he was slow. Our left back was so slow, man. I had to cover it so many times. But it was pretty hard, but I enjoyed it. But as I said, I had to keep playing as twice as harder or better than my teammates to start getting accepted. So,
was there a moment that changed, or your perception of the way the fans were treating you changed? Was there a moment where you thought that this persecution of you had ended? Bearing in mind you're the first black player to play for Chelsea, you're a leading light, and a lot of people younger at the club are looking up to you to the way you've A, playing, and B, handled the stuff that's been thrown at you.
Because it was hard, definitely hard, and even for the youngsters that was in the apprentice, we call them at the time, and for these young black lads that were coming through, and there were some quality lads in the youth, that they used to watch their first team. They had to.
Who would have been coming through at that time? Who would have been watching you?
The boys, I'll tell you who was coming, who was near, as far as I'm concerned, who did come eventually. It was like the Keith Jones, the Keith Dublins, Robert Isaacs, the Del Jaspers.
So all these guys are watching, seeing what you're having to go through week in, week out, and knowing that they're coming next.
For them, which I can only go by what they tell me. It's you don't know. When we saw you on the pitch, it's like we couldn't celebrate it, but we was right there. Get in there, Kenneth. Go on, son. You know what I mean? Go on. And like you could hear around them, and the racist abuse I was receiving because they was right next to the person who was shouting. You know what I mean? And these youngsters couldn't do nothing. So if I scored a goal, it was like for them silently cheering. You know what I mean? They say, "Go on, Kenneth, well done," but had to keep it quiet for themselves. This is what I had to go through. I remember the only time where it got released after nearly 2.5 years, it was a particular game, the Milk Cup, the old Milk Cup back in the day.
So that'd be like the League Cup?
Yeah, that would be like exactly the League Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup and whatever. It's changed so many over the lines, you know what I mean? But this was the Milk Cup at the time. And it was playing against Sheffield Wednesday, who were a very good side in the Division 2 that we was in. And we had some really good games, close quarters. And I believe that at the time, went down there and I was in touch with my old man, for real. So for the first time, got in touch, and he happened to live in Sheffield, and I invited him, would you like to come see me play? And he said, yeah, you know what I mean? This time, I was more like chuffed. I was excited.
For a young man that ain't had his dad his whole
Yeah,
life, for your dad
yeah.
to then come and watch you,
Come and say, yeah.
it
to
stirs
see
up
me
all
play.
kinds of emotions for you,
Well, I
doesn't
don't
it?
even know if I'm going to play, you know what I mean? 'Cause right now I'm sub still. I've been subbed anyway, but just to come in and see the team, I never know. And that was because I was so nervous. I ain't going to lie to you. I'm thinking, boy, if I come on, oh, and he sees me, what do you think? Oh, my God, where's he been? What am I going to say to him? What? A lot of things are going on in my mind right now, but I'm supposed to concentrate on this game. Well, the game wasn't going our way. We're 1-0 down in about less than 10, 2-0 down, then it went 3. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, we're knocked out of this World Cup, mate. That's it, it's all over. So got into the changing room, and I was told that, yeah, Canners, get straight on. You're straight on, son, get stretches. And we changed the formation. And the formation changed where I was left. Colin Lee came off, and Del Jasper came in sitting mid. And I remember when we kicked off, it was passed back to Joey Jones. Joey Jones booted it up. Kerry headed it, Speedy flicked it, and I got beyond the defender, I think Mick Lyons, Sheffield Wednesday, and I hit it first time low to the right of the keeper, 3-1. And that was under 11 seconds. And so I didn't even know that until they told me about the time. I didn't know that. But that was the start of the battle. We come back roaring and passed the ball. Kerry Dixon does what he usually does. Took an extra flick. It was 3-2. Then it was Pat. Pat got the ball down on the right, did a long, great run, dribble, and saw Mickey Thomas coming from the edge of the box. Passed to him, laid it right out to him in his stride. He's hit it. It's 3-3. Boys are back. And it's going mad. You can imagine, bro. It's going mad. Apparently, I was told that people, after 3-0 down, our Chelsea boys wanted to leave. They weren't allowed. The stewards wouldn't have let them allow. They thought, yeah, you might see your team lose 3-0. Well, who told them that? So Cannons, anyway, Pat's got this ball over in our own half and the left there. And he's done a dribble. He's come out. He's dribbling across into the centre ring. And I've made a run to the right, and at the same time, Kerry's, who's just in front of me, has made the run. So the ball's gone, and I'm thinking, shit, Kerry's gone it. But I've headed right into the box now, and Kerry is a person that you've got to, you're not begging for the ball, you've got to shout abuse for the ball at him. Because Kerry's the one, he's a striker, isn't he? So that means selfish, he'll take it for himself. But he's drawn 2 men wide of him, and I'm free in the box, and I couldn't believe it. He's passed his ball to me. It's dead centre. And I've hit it straight between the keeper's legs. So you can see that, imagine, 4-3.
From 3-0 down.
3-0 down.
Cannons on at half time.
Come up, he scores. What a game for your own man to see. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But as well as that, I was thinking of this woman. And no word of lie, she was in the dugout next to us. And it was me and Jonah sitting down, and she kept giving me sweets. I said, nah, don't worry. You'll be here next time. 1-0. Don't worry. 2-0. 3-0. Yeah, you're right. We'll be here next time. But I've calmed down. I scored that fourth. I went straight to the dugout looking for her. And Dove said, Canners, she's gone. When you scored that goal, she was gone. I said, that was a tremendous night, because I even avoided Kerry, because usually that you celebrate with the pass, who made the pass. And I was like, there was nothing about it, my celebration, because everybody saw that fist was in the air, and it was nothing about no black history. It was just the way I celebrated it. I ran down the line, ran down near the end of the boys, and see the boys up and said, now, what are you talking about now? What you got to say to me? Am I not Chelsea? And you don't know, bruv. Trust me. Like, to end up, it went to extra time, and it went, 4-4. Oh, Dougie fouled Mel Sterling. He was only going to go down. He went down, he took the penalty, scored it, 4-4, and that's how it finished. For me, and everybody else says it was the greatest comeback of all time. I said, cool. And then once again, you were the cause of it. And I said, well, this is a job, son. But I wasn't thinking about the game after that. It's finished. I'm thinking about me, oh man, what am I going to say to this boy? What should I say to this man? Where have you been? Why weren't you around? And you know what? He said it was so different. I had all these questions, man, and I said, oh my God. I'm meeting thinking, how am I going to recognise this guy? You know what I mean? He ain't been in my life since 1 year old. I'm now 23. It was quite easy, really, because he was the only black man in the fucking place. So, yeah, right. So, yeah. So, you know what I mean? He's come across. And we were chatting away, and I said, yeah, what do you think of the game then? He was like that one-liner, yeah, not bad. Oh, so what do you think? Good win? Yeah, very good win. I said, fucking, I'm going, mate, who's going like, what the fuck am I doing here? And I said, yeah, you fancy a drink? Yeah, I fancy a drink. Oh, let's go then, fuck it. So we went to the bar, got a lager and that, and that was it. We've been, honestly, father figure friends ever since. And he lives now down in Slough next to my sister. And it was good to be in touch with him. I ain't gonna lie to you. And on the day that went well, that went on, for me, special. And to be honestly, now to be received by my fans, that game made a difference.
Really, you can see a clear change in attitudes from that moment.
I got from home game. I'm not too sure. I think it was Watford. Sure, it was Watford. Because I remember the game, I took out Blissett and on the sideline, I took him out with a tackle and I hit him. And I swear, I knew it wasn't a fluke because I started to hear my name being sang. First time in prayer. Canoville. First time. Yeah. Went inside for that second half, went into the changing rooms, and even my teammates, Kenneth, did you hear that? I said, what do you want? Kenneth, they're singing out your name. Kenneth, do you know what that means? I said, what do you mean? That you're one of us. And I had to tell them, man, you know what I mean? But boys, I've always been one of you. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. But to hear the fans now
giving you that recognition and that adulation,
you don't
the respect that you deserved.
Don't know. Don't get me wrong. I've had many stories where, like, fans have said, Kenneth, you know what I mean? Fans, you know what I mean, had to fight amongst themselves because some were racially abusing me and some didn't accept that. I said, what's wrong with you, man? He's our teammate. No, he's black. We don't need that. But, you know, he's singing my name in the shed end, the notorious shed end, as everybody knows. So, yeah, that was a breakthrough for me. I was so happy that changed to more. It was more easier. And things, as far as I'm concerned, was going to be better. I mean, that year, I think we got promoted from Division 2 to Division 1. And that was great because that's where you wanted to be in. You're playing big games against the Liverpools, the Arsenal, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I remember that day, getting promotion, waiting for the end of the season, and then eager to start training again. And that reason was to be involved in the very first game for next season, Division 1, because it was against Arsenal. I want to be in that game. So I remember getting back to that season, doing light training, and then get to the real training. We went to Wales, Aberystwyth. I know it so well because of the sand dunes, man. When you run in those sand, trust me, it works out those legs. I mean, this was fitness training. So then we had our little games that was at the Harlison. You know what I mean? First team against the reserves. Well, I'm in the reserves, isn't it? But I'm telling you, this day, nothing went wrong. It was laid out for me. It was a training ground at Harlan, and it was a Friday, and everything I did come off. I slipped, I skipped the ball past him, I let the ball go nuts. Teammate who didn't like it at that time, what I was doing, and it was not even funny that a next ball that came to me, he came at knee high, he came with his studs flying. I just about, jumped above it. Because if I hadn't, I would have received a broken leg for that tackle that he was about to give me. And I was like concerned. I'm thinking, wait, we're teammates. What was he going to do there? And I was told by my captain, he said, Kenneth, mate, be very careful because he does not like embarrassment. And what you're doing, trust me, is embarrassing him. He will break your leg. And I'm hearing a teammate would break my leg. Just that in alone was like, wow. So I eased up on it, but I think what it was, I'd done enough. And when I say I'd done enough, I got done enough because I was playing. I was actually number 11 in the game. I was starting. So I was kind of excited. Moved down.
This against Arsenal?
Yeah, because I moved down to Hackney, didn't I? And all my friends that I met down in Hackney now, they're all Arsenal fans, you know what I mean? So obviously they know who I was. And they said, yes, Kenneth, we're going to annihilate you, mate. You're shite. We'll show you about football. You coming up, you'll be going straight back to Division 2. Well, you know what? I couldn't say nothing. Come on, they had players. Kenny Sampson, Pat Jennings,
Let's take a second to appreciate how good Kenny Sampson and Pat Jennings was.
Them boys, look, wow, Pat, I've never seen a Mr. Cool. When I mean cool as a cucumber. Yeah, this is Pat Jennings. And while we laughed about Pat Jennings, because Pat Jennings, he loved this flock of hair. He's still got this flock of hair, right? He's like our player, Gary Stanley, that plays at Chelsea, he used to be at. He has the same thing. His hair is still there, still growing.
It's the era as well, though, isn't it? Of big hair. Like
brother.
That was his time.
Pat was in the air, bringing balls down with one arm. One hand, he just kept ball like that, bring it down. And I was like, oh, gosh, how are you supposed to beat this guy? And he was tall as well. But you know what? We played well. They went 1-0 up. And I remember it was the clock in down at Highbury. It was pure Chelsea, 6,007 down at Chelsea. And I remember the game delayed. And, you know what I mean? I had to get everybody in. It was like unbelievable. And I remember I'm playing against Viv Anderson. Viv Anderson has got to be our first black England right back. Is it? Yeah, I'm writing that description. And I'm playing against him. So you can imagine, this is England's World Club. But boy, I gave it to him, mate. I tell you what, I didn't make it easy at all for him. And I say I was so comfortable after the night before. You can imagine, I was sleeping thinking, oh man, I was 5 hours, oh man. And I'm thinking, I'm trying to get past him. I'm dreaming the game already before I even played that I couldn't get past him. Oh, he's done me. Oh. And there it was now at the ground, on the Highbury, on the pitch. Yeah, sorry, Viv. Nah, you ain't going to find this easy. So I remember I was helping Dougie out, but Dougie played his way. But as I said, they went 1-0 up, and we got the equaliser, Kerry Dixon, and that was it. It was tight all the way, and I think we showed Arsenal and showed who that in Division 1. Yeah, Chelsea are back. And it was a great, great feeling. And for me, the respect was what I received from my mates who were all Arsenal. Canners, well done, mate. Yeah, you boys played well, and you did. Didn't expect that. The thanks for that done me a lot of good. It really did, you know what I mean? Because I was nervous as hell, thinking how I'd stay, how I'd play that day. And it went on, don't get me wrong. Good times. I loved it. I loved Chelsea, man. There's no way I wanted to leave, but there's an incident the following season.